Hello and welcome to Qsports. I'm Amadou Gajaga. Thank you very much for joining us. Tonight on the show, a Gambian is elected unopposed as president of the Confederation of African Volleyball Zone 2. And we will talk to him in the studio, Baidu Diallo, about his plans as the new president and also the plan for the new season in the Gambia as far as volleyball is concerned. Musa Barrows has a star performance for Bologna just under 2 weeks before the Gambia takes on Gabon in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier double leg tie. And we will also be looking at some sad news as the tragic death of a goalkeeper after training at the beach. All that on tonight's show. Thank you for joining us. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is Qsports and I am Mamudu Gajaga. Tonight we're going to start off with someone who has started off as a referee and then become an executive member, even rose to the rank of becoming a secretary general, then acting president, and later on becoming fully the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation in 2018. And it's Baidu Diallo. Baidu Diallo joins me in the studio to talk about his election, which was held virtually because of the coronavirus pandemic. Baidu, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mr. Gajaga.
It's been interesting having an election online. First, I will ask you, how do you go about that? I've never seen that before.
Well, very, very interesting. I've also never gone through an election online before. It was really very tough. But nowadays, information technology is very, very advanced. Really, it was online and it was secret. And this was, in fact, the whole Congress itself. It was the Congress of the Confederation of African Volleyball. And this is the elective Congress. And, you know, the whole Congress was online. And the voting from the president of the Confederation of African Volleyball to members of the executive board, including the zonal presidents, were all done virtually. So, very interesting experience, really, for me. This was the first
Many
time.
would call it the new normal. Basically,
Exactly.
We've been used to doing everything physically, people gathering in a room to gather together. There was nothing like physical or social distancing per se. But now this is something that we have to bear through.
Absolutely.
Well, you unseated this Cape Verdean Antonio Rodriguez. Basically, you are going to serve a 4-year or 5-year term first. And you know, when we looked at your story, it started way back in 2003 into Gambian volleyball. And in 2004, you become a referee, rose through the ranks and treasurer between 2004 and 2007. Then later you became the secretary general between 2008 and 2014. How has this helped you moving from one position to another to climb up the ladder? Once you became president in 2018 after being an acting president, and here you are today, not only the president of Gambian volleyball but also the president of African Volleyball Zone 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a very interesting journey. But when I look back, I'm very happy that I have gone step by step. Really, it's been very interesting, but I think my involvement over the years in the sport, in the management of the sport, and of course also in the refereeing of the sport, I think have given me a lot of experience, With respect to the positions that I held, I think those positions really gave me a lot of insight. And especially during the period when I became the Secretary General, I have received a lot of communication, done a lot of communication, read about a lot of things, interacted with a lot of officials, both at the Confederation of African Volleyball and the FIVB, and which is the International Federation for Volleyball. And really, these interactions has allowed me to also grow into the management or administration of the sport, because it has also given me opportunity to move around a little bit and see how other countries are organizing theirs. And I think during this period, I have tried to always take lessons and bring them home and make sure we improve on our management, on our administration. I think this is what helped me probably by the time I become president. I have more or less matured in the administration of the sport. And probably that is why, you know, it was quick to get results. Immediately I became president. And, you know, just 2 years in my presidency, becoming a zonal president was something that's beyond my expectation. But here it is, and really, I'm very
Are you
happy.
ready to take up the challenge?
Yes, I am really ready to take up the challenge. That is why I submitted my application. And looking at the zone, you know, after all these years interacting with a lot of presidents who have been in the zone, including the one that I've even unseated, he even you know, put me in his board of administration over the last 4 years. And I really saw that gap, and I really saw that when I come in, I can add value. I can really add a lot of things in the administration of the zone, of the sport in the zone. And this is why I decided to go in. But also, I think over the years, during my interaction with a lot of my colleagues, and they have really built a lot of confidence in me, and most of them really even ask for me to submit my candidature, and they were all ready to support my candidature. And that's why, even if you look at the story, it was like an unopposed.
Unopposed,
so
yeah.
Nobody really opposed me.
That's the beauty of
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
And when you look at this Zone 2, it comprises of countries like, for example, the Gambia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Mauritania, Sierra Leone, Cape Verde. These are big nations, sports in general, and some of them, when it comes to volleyball, Cape Verde is well recognized as well. If you look at African volleyball, Mauritania, and Mali, and the likes, you think with the experience that you have, you would be able to move this zone's volleyball to the next step, to the next level, to make sure that their volleyball improves, including the Gambia?
Definitely. This is why I am very sure in all my mind, I'm really very clear that this is a challenge I can take up and I can do. It's for me, what we have done in the Gambia has been a success story, and this model is probably what I'm going to sell in the region. You know, even over the last few years, if you've been following us, you've seen that, you know, because of our comportment, you know, most of the zonal activities have been coming to Gambia.
Especially the beach volleyball.
Especially the beach volleyball. Almost all the Olympic qualification for the zone have come to Gambia. Even the second round, which is beyond the zone, was hosted by Gambia. The indoor preparation for the indoor All Africa Games was all hosted by Gambia. So I think this also, and all this hosting were very successful. They were very successful, and all the delegates that came gave a very good report to the CAVB about the hostings that we were doing. So this shows you that we have what it takes to host the zone right now in the Gambia. I think the model of working together as a team and making sure you value everybody that is working with you, and you empower these people so that you work in a very good spirit, and that is the only way you can get results. This is what I will really push into the sub-region as well. We will make sure that we have a very clear understanding of what do we want to do, what do we want to achieve, and then really make sure the spirit is good. You know, you have the spirit, everybody is supportive, everybody want to really get to where you want to get to because everybody buy in. I think that spirit, if I'm able to get that spirit from my colleagues in these other countries, we will have a good team that will be able to get results. And I'm very sure, given the situation in which I was supported to be the president of Zone 2, where almost all the countries endorsed my candidature and even supported me. There has never been anybody that have said I'm even going to contest. And some of them really are even more experienced me. They have been presidents well before I become a president. I think that spirit already is there, and I just have to really capitalize on this spirit and move and use the Gambia model. I will always say I really want to use the Gambia model to make sure this is also happening in the zone. What is happening in the Gambia can be translated at the zonal level.
One way, or I would say where African sports is struggling, volleyball without being an exception, is infrastructure. Would you maybe talk to federation? Would you talk to, let's say, for instance, government to improve on their facilities to make sure that the sports develop to a highest level, because you need the infrastructure?
Absolutely. This is something that we are going to continue to talk about. We have already talked about this thing a lot. Still now, especially for Gambia, still we have a problem when it comes to infrastructure. Of course, there's a place that we have identified at the stadium, and we are currently working on developing the project proposal, which is almost ready for that project for us to construct a very good facility at the stadium, or refurbish a very good facility at the stadium into a volleyball court. But this is all around the countries. If you look at the Zone 2, the countries that are really well placed when it comes to infrastructure is Senegal, Cape Verde, and Mali. Mali also have a good infrastructure because of their basketball. Their volleyball is also benefiting, because Mali is very, very strong in basketball. In fact, they are also strong in volleyball, but they have some maybe some administration problems and over the years, and that is holding them back a little bit. But we will continue to push the infrastructural development, because the sport can only grow if the infrastructure is there. For example, Gambia now, we have a very good talents in indoor volleyball. But I mean, these talents cannot be fully utilized. And we cannot realize the best of these talents with the facility that we have right now. Because, I mean, with what you have right now, if you go to international, you are it's a non-starter.
A non-starter.
Really. Even by the time they warm up and start playing, you mean they are really like they are completely in a new environment.
Psychologically,
so psychologically it's very difficult. So really, if you want to really get the best out of the boys right now, we need this facility. So we are going to continue to push, because when it comes to infrastructure development, it's a purely government issue. There is no international federation that goes around countries building infrastructure like that. Maybe in football it's happening now, but in other sports they are not doing it. Volleyball is no exception. So we will continue to put pressure on government to help us. And we will continue to say this anytime we meet the Minister of Sports and other government officials, to help us to really look at infrastructure. And, you know, a lot of sports can benefit just in a single edifice. If you put up a single edifice today, a very good indoor facility, it can be used by volleyball, basketball, handball, karate, and all these other sports can all use it. And, you know, and also all these sports will be able to, you know, host in top-level international competitions. And without that, your growth at the international level will always be very, very difficult. This is why you see, even for Gambia, with all the results we have, you know, the greatest results we have is from the beach volleyball, because there, the infrastructure is just natural.
Natural, yeah.
So if you have the natural beach, if you have the beach, you have the infrastructure. And
already.
you see how we are doing in beach volleyball. And really with the infrastructure, the same results more or less can also be obtained in indoor.
That brings me to my next question. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, sports has been at a standstill across the globe. Gambia, not an exception. Volleyball, I know you also have your plans to restart the league. Basically, what do you have in plans? Which month are you targeting for the restart of the league, both the league and the knockout, and how are you going to go about this, considering the safety measures in place?
Absolutely. It's a very, very difficult situation. And volleyball, we are very, very worried, because we had a very good momentum before coronavirus or COVID-19 strike. The momentum for the game was really good in the country. And our worry is, how do we take off and get back to that momentum
again.
So it's difficult, but right now what we are doing, we are also, a lot of restrictions have been eased, and we are hoping very soon sporting competitions will also be officially eased. So right now we are preparing. The things we are doing right now is getting our coaches and referees back, getting them back into the game. Last weekend we organized a 3 days coaches refresher course for all the coaches in the Gambia. And you know, we had an instructor from Senegal who came in and do this refresher course with them. And just yesterday we concluded another 3 days refresher course for our referees. And you know, these 2 courses really get you well prepared, because now the coaches have started training with their clubs, and you know, they need this refreshing, so that the coronavirus long period of sitting down and not doing anything, you will need really refreshing to restart. So our target is, we are looking at December for the start of the National Volleyball League. And we are hoping that the situation in the Gambia is very positive with respect to coronavirus right now compared to other countries. So probably in December, it can even be better, to the level that officially sporting competition will all be allowed. So this is why we are saying, let us not wait until the official announcement is made. Let's start doing something. So we have get our clubs getting back to training and preparing. And hopefully, if everything goes well, in December, we want to start the National Volleyball League. And we are going to start with indoor because we want everybody to start. If we go to beach, we will restrict some people. But in indoor, you have everybody playing and participating. So this is our target. So we are going very well. We even want to do another refresher course for the medic this coming weekend, and then have a national stakeholder, volleyball stakeholder, one-day stakeholder consultations on the rules and regulations for the competition. And then from there, we think we will be ready for December to really start when everything is in place.
Looking forward to that competition. We hope that everything goes well so that we can start watching our favorite volleyball players and teams again. Well, yesterday I went to the Brikama Mini Stadium and I saw them training. I hope Barrow and these guys are also preparing very well for the season. Gaff and the interior team and as well. Baidudu, on that note, I'm saying thank you very much for honoring our invitation, and we wish you all the best of luck in your new position.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the support.
Thank you
for all this while. Thank you.
That's Baidudu Jallow, the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the other half of the program. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. This is Qsports. A brace from Gambian international Musa Barrow gave Bologna a victory over Cagliari on Saturday. With less than 2 weeks before the Gambia takes on Gabon in a double-leg Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers ties, his form might be vital for the Scorpions as they face a team led by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the Arsenal star. So it's going to be a competition or a qualifying match that is going to be very competitive as we look forward to it. And also, we're going to look at this story. How does it feel to score twice in a match, and just when you thought you've won the game, to be pegged back twice again? And this was what Kalilu Cisse, forward for Misira United, has to deal with in their game against Soccer Boys as the pre-season tournament in Brikama gets underway. And we will also bring you some details about this competition. Let's hear from Kalilu first. A star performance by Kalilu Cisse, whose brace gave Misira United a 2-0 lead, a score that was levelled in the second half after a Navi defence twice proved shaky. For much of the first half, Misira United controlled the game with beautiful positional football. Joseph Mendy missed a close effort at the near post. Mbake Kijera missed another before Kalilu Cisse scored with a well-taken shot in the 33rd minute, giving Misira United the lead. The team's goal machine, Kalilu Cisse, didn't disappoint at the second time of asking, just 2 minutes after the restart. He ran into the box, beating 2 players before slotting the ball into the net for his double. Soccer Boys, knowing fully well they were 2-0 down, knew it would take a change in approach and performance for any chance of a comeback. It was not long before there were glimpses of hope. Soccer Boys had better runs, passing, and more goal-mouth efforts in the second half. Dominic D. Morris reduced the deficit in the 52nd minute. After some improvements in their style of play in the second half, attacking with flair coupled with a shaky Misira United defence, Ibrahim Ajasi levelled the scores in the 73rd minute after a defensive mix-up. Despite scoring twice for his side, Kalilu Cisse was not happy with the result.
It's not very much convincing because scoring 2 goals while my team do not have the 3 points, it is just like nothing, because even though I will have 1 or other one will have, other team maybe score 1, we have the team 3 points, I think that would have been better. But I will thank Allah for the 2 goals. I think we have more games to go. So we have to come again, prepare for the more games and see what we will have from it.
And finally on the show, what was meant to be just a normal training session ended up in tragedy, as this goalkeeper, Omar Njai, who plays his football with Serekunda East B earlier on Wednesday was training with his teammates at the beach in Fajara. After the training, all that they realized was he was missing. It was the next day, on Thursday morning, that they found the body at the Fajara beach. These were the last moments of his training on Tuesday, captured on video before he met his untimely death. What was meant to be a normal pre-season fitness training at the Fajara beach on Wednesday morning ended tragically. Omar Njai, a goalkeeper, wouldn't make it to the shore after going swimming at the end of the day's training, and the promising young footballer drowned, and his body was recovered on Thursday morning. Eyewitnesses say it was when the players were about to go home that one of them raised the alarm after realizing that Omar Njai was missing. His brother, Gora Sar, speaking on behalf of the family, described his death as shocking. To be honest with you, I am speechless. It came as a surprise to us. We are very sad as a family, but we took it in good faith. The owner of Serekunda SB football team, Joseph Sambo, alias Joe Kalamba, broke down in tears. He explains that no one saw Omar when he was drowning and no one heard him calling for help.
And it was a sad thing for the team. Almost 2 hours we were there to search for Omar Njai. We cannot see him. More than the word sad, because yesterday, this is the first time, and I mean, it's God's will, so I cannot do anything, but Gajaga, I'm very sad, to tell you the truth, because it's the first.
The head coach of the team, Pandau, has also expressed shock and described the death of his number one goalkeeper as mysterious.
Well, it's a shock li nga wax mom dafa nek lo xamne nga def day indi setback ak sa okay ci team bi waye legi mom the only thing we have to be strong be pare okay try ni ñoo okay woge ci psychological players so you understand okay tamit so is life it's very painful yobu domi jamur tamit mu jege rek ne mess okay ci sa loxo.
Modu Sedi, a teammate, says he introduced Omar to the team. He added that they boarded the team bus on that fateful day to attend training at the beach.
Since then,
When he was going to swim, we drank sorrel juice together. That was our last encounter. Since then, I didn't see him again. When he was drowning, we didn't see him because we could have helped. Another devastated team official is the Secretary General, Aliou Job. He says the tragic death of Omar seems unbelievable.
Yeah, very sad and mysterious. We cannot even imagine losing this instrumental goalkeeper in our team. It's very sad anyway.
Omar Njai died at the age of 19. He is described by his family members as a devout Muslim and a hard-working young man who, when not playing football, sells mobile phone chargers and repairs phones to make ends meet. His death is shocking and will be a great loss to his family, friends, and the football team. May Allah grant him Jannah. With that sad news, we say, may Allah bless his soul and, give him Jannah to Firdaus. We keep him in our prayers as his life ended in tragedy. We say thank you very much for watching this broadcast. Until we come your way next week, keep on sporting and bye for now.